This is my son, Caden, and at 4 months old, he needed open heart surgery. He used 3 units of red cells and 1 unit of platelets. I'd like to thank BloodSource blood donors, because what you do truly does save lives. When Caden was about 3 days old, his pediatrician came in and noticed that he had a slight murmur in his heart. And this means that his heart was not beating regularly. And he also had 2 holes in the heart at the same time. This is my son, Caden, and at 4 months old, he needed open heart surgery. He used 3 units of red cells and 1 unit of platelets.
That was probably one of the scariest days of my life, just having to hand him to a nurse and they just walk away with him. I remember carrying his car seat back to the car empty and wondering, it's like, will he ever be in it again? I want to thank BloodSource blood donors for helping my little boy be here today. I know.
I'd like to thank BloodSource blood donors, because what you do truly does save lives.
At 6 years old, Darnay started receiving blood transfusions, and she will receive blood transfusions for the rest of her life.
Every 3 weeks I get a transfusion.
Blood transfusions are a miracle.
Before I had that transfusion, I felt really tired. And after my transfusion, I feel really strong and proud.
And without those donors donating blood, no telling what would happen.
I want to thank blood donors for helping me out. It's really good for other people like me.
When I was pregnant, knowing that I have sickle cell trait and their father has sickle cell trait too, so the result was one came out with sickle cell from birth. At 6 years old, Darnay started receiving blood transfusions, and she will receive blood transfusions for the rest of her life.
Every 3 weeks I get a transfusion.
Blood transfusions are a miracle for my family.
Before I had that transfusion, I felt really tired. And after my transfusion, I feel really strong and proud.
We really appreciate blood donations because my daughter is happier. She gets to play like a normal kid, and it's a blessing for us. And without those donors donating blood, no telling what would happen.
I want to thank blood donors for helping me out and keep it up. It's really good for other people like me.
When I was 7 years old, I was in a car accident with my older sister, and it was a collision with a semi-truck. And I don't remember a whole lot of it because I was asleep during the time. My seatbelt did save me, but it also caused a lot of internal damage. So I was life flighted to the hospital where I was able to be treated by the doctors, and I ended up having 9 major surgeries and 22 anesthesia procedures. And in the process I had to have a lot of blood, and it was really important that I had that constant supply of blood because I was really weak and I needed a lot of it. When I received my blood, I felt a lot more energized, and it helped me a lot. And when I was in the hospital, I would never have dreamed that I would be able to be so active and physically involved. I remember really that just walking up the stairs was quite a task, and now I'm doing all these great things. One of the major things that has just become one of my hobbies is running. I made a lot of progress, and I was able to go to state and run with one of my team members, and it was a really great experience. Thank you, BloodSource blood donors, for what you do, because because of you, now I can live a happy life and I can love my family and I can run. And remember the purpose of why you're doing it and how you could be helping someone like me.
Just turned 18 years old, and it's my senior year in high school. Working 2 jobs. I wasn't feeling well for a greater part of two and a half weeks, and decided to go get checked out and set up an appointment with my primary doctor. And the devastating news was that I had leukemia. They needed to get started with chemotherapy immediately. He said to start off, I would be in the hospital a minimum 6 months. I graduated online via Skype. We got the web set up with the IT guys in a matter of a couple days, and we made it somehow work. Bone marrow transplant was the pretty much only chance for survival at the time. We decided to get active on the bone marrow registry. My chances were so low for survival for the simple fact that I am Hispanic and Chinese. And on the registry, out of the 10 million strong that we are, there's less than a 1% chance of finding that match. So the doctor comes into my hospital room and says, "Hey Steve, we got some bad news and good news for you. So which one do you like first?" I said, "I'll take the bad news first." So he says, "After all your previous rounds of chemotherapy, you still got a pretty good amount of leukemia cells in your body. But hopefully this last round will do us some justice and put you in remission before heading into a bone marrow transplant in the future." I said, "Okay, well, what's the good news?" He said, "Well, the good news is, we have a couple potential matches, and one of the matches happens to be a 10 out of 10 perfect match." And when he told us that, our world just stopped right then and there. Was it, to be happy, or was it to break down and cry because, my chances are less than 1% chance of survival? Just 2 days after my 2-year anniversary, things took a turn for the worst. My body just didn't feel right. I was bruising again, feeling sluggish, and thought I'd get into the doctor's office once again and see what's going on with my body. He said, "We're pretty sure you relapsed." They went with a chemotherapy that hit my body hard, and right away there was just need for blood to give me some kind of strength to fight this battle. They said, "You're most definitely going to need a second transplant if we're going to try to cure this thing once and for all." We were lucky enough to go on a trial drug, and it worked out for the best, and it put us in remission, and we found another match, and we went from there. So many things that occurred, and a lot of blood products that I needed to keep me going, but we made it out, and I'm grateful for that. The red blood cells gave me energy, and the platelets helped me clot, so that was huge. I'd like to thank blood donors for what they do on a regular basis. If it wasn't for them, I don't know where I'd be today. I'm forever grateful for that.
I think it's so important that people realize that they can play a small part in doing something wonderful to help other people, to live, to be healthy, to be happy, to have energy. And it doesn't help just the people that have the need of the blood, but it helps the family as well.
And when I was in the hospital, I would never have dreamed that I would be able to be so active and physically involved. I remember really that just walking up the stairs was quite a task, and now I'm doing all these great things. Thank you so much for what you do, because because of you, now I can live a happy life and I can love my family and I can run.
Use 3 units of red cells and 1 unit of platelets. I'd like to thank Blood Source blood donors because what you do truly does save lives.
I remember carrying his car seat back to the car empty, and being that he was only 4 months old, you know, wondering if will he ever be in it again. I want to thank Blood Source blood donors for helping my little boy be here today. I know. Mwah.
I want to give all blood donors a hug. I don't know whose blood I received, but it could have been anyone's. They need to know that they're a hero. They may not wear a red cape, they may not be able to fly, but they give the gift of life, and I am proof that it does save lives. No words could really express how important the blood donors are to me and my family.
Blood transfusions are a miracle for my family. At 6 years old, Darnay started receiving blood transfusions, and she will receive blood transfusions for the rest of her life. And without those donors donating blood, no telling what would happen. So we really rely on the blood donations.
I want to say thank you very much for helping me out and keep it up. It's really good for other people like me.
If it wasn't for you guys, I probably wouldn't be here today. And I'll be forever grateful for what you've done for me and my family.
I was very glad that the blood was there. Nobody ever expects that they need it, but it was there and it saved my life.
I want to thank Blood Source blood donors for allowing me to make memories with her. Humbug.
It's the best thing that has ever happened to me. It's better than being a parent. It is fabulous.
When we had to rush her to the hospital when she was 9 and needed that blood, it was a huge relief to know that it was there and available for her. It's my baby's life that you saved, that you took that time and went in and donated, and it was right there on the shelf when she needed it, and thank you so much.
When Kenzie was getting blood, I mean, it just kind of gives them a jump start. It helps them. I think it's scary to think about what would happen if you didn't get it. You know, I think that's what, if there wasn't blood, I mean, I think, what would happen? I guess we just take it for granted, don't we? That it's just going to be there. Yeah, I just want to thank you for spending an hour of your time giving blood. Because of that hour that you're spending, I get to spend a lifetime with my son.
She probably had 45 whole red blood transfusions. She had, I have the list at home. She's probably had 80 to 100 platelet transfusions. Every one of those people helped save her life. Because of you, my daughter is here, and she's healthy, and she's happy, and she is gonna go on and do wonderful, amazing things with her life. And it's because of donors like you. Thank you, thank you.
Dominic today is a thriving 9-year-old who just has the most beautiful smile. He's got the sweetest spirit. He's a happy kid. He wakes up in the morning and he's happy. I would love to thank every single one of you. I don't know who you are, your family. You saved my son. There's lots of children that need to be saved.
So 20 months old, just a toddler, we found out what he really had and the devastating news that brought, because there's no cure for Tyler's illness. And I'd like to thank donors from the bottom of my heart for giving me 23 years of my son and for allowing me to have another day, another month, another year, or another decade so that he can become the healer that he wants to become, and I get to love him one more day. Thank you.